Like the Bradley Surf Village, I think is a great example. And because there's people out there that say, oh, there's no deals out there, whatever it is. And we've basically, I think every year of our partnership, we've gone into some kind of contract on a property. So we've bought in very different markets, but most of the deals you have sourced. Can you talk a little bit about how you came across Bradley Surf Village and then how you came across, let's talk about the Avon project briefly. So both of those projects, how did you come across them? That maybe lessons for other people who are in the real estate world and having trouble acquiring properties.
I think the really it comes down to relationship building and just putting yourself out there. Specifically with Bradley Beach, that came through it was off market, but it was getting ready to go public with a broker. My kid happened to like another parent at the school was the broker, and the kids just went to school together. And there was a mutual friend of ours that she texted me and was just like, "Hey, you still trying to buy some like real estate stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And she was like, "Oh, so and so has these like bungalows on Brindley Avenue and Bradley Beach." And I was like, "Oh my God, I've been riding my bike by them for years. I know exactly what they are, and give them my phone number right now." So really we did that was like I guess the intro. And so it was a little bit of like, I mean, we like our kids all went to the same school together. And so there was like that immediate connection. And then a lot of it was like relationship building. That deal and I know you remember, Dennis, it fell apart for it was known. Then we hit a wall with the seller. And then I think it fell apart for 3 or 4 months. It was just dead and we were doing other stuff. And then again, I just check in with people and be like, or I'd see or I'd see his kids or be at a birthday party together on the weekends. And I would just make a joke, be like, "Oh, is Ron ready to sell yet?" And then sure enough, I got the call one day and it went forward and we were able to put together a deal with the Avon, with the bank building that really came out of, there was this micro food hall concept that I've been trying to do for probably 7 or 8 years in Asbury Park. We've actually been under contract on two different buildings and it didn't work out in both those cases. So there's a lot of people out there that knew I was trying to work on a project like that. Again, mutual friends through kids' school. And they had bought this building. They wanted to use it for something else. And then that use just fell through. And then they approached me and said, "Hey, you still want to do this like food concept? Because we have this building and we think it might be a really good opportunity." So looked at it. I knew that building. I think I'd actually been in that building a couple of years prior. And so I totally loved it, board. And again, it's just been a lot of trust building, a lot of just, it's almost build the friendship. And like the people we've been working with in that are friends before anything else. So even if this deal doesn't happen, I'm still remain friends with them and our kids are still friends. And so really a lot of this stuff, it's really don't prioritize the deal. It's more prioritize the relationships in an authentic way. And that's how I approach everything. And I think that's one of the things that's really worked for me over the years is that I like making money. I have a family. I need to make money. I have goals. But a lot of times I will get into something with, okay, there might be a payoff down the line, but right now we need to focus on like building something cool or building a product and really just, do I want to do this and trying to execute on a vision versus like, how do I monetize this? Or how do I, if I'm doing this event, like, can we make it free or super low cost until it gets that traction? And then you can bring in sponsors or something like that, or really just focus on like whatever, like the relationship or the product or whatever it is before necessarily trying to like make money off of it. So that's another thing that I've always done.
No, that's such great advice. And I love your relationship metaphor. Like we're really big with SIH. We use the word relationship driven investments. And it's interesting getting to know you. I would say like you're one of the most relationship driven people I've met in a very specific geographic area. There isn't a brewery that I go to on Jersey Shore where you don't know the owner, or there, as long as the consumption is within reason. But there's so many different projects that I'll text you about or something like that. Or more often than not, when you're focused on the relationships and your relationships know your skill sets, because it's not just your like, hey, you want to open up this micro food concept. you also have done ghost kitchens and you've also sold it to, and you've also worked with thousands of vendors at Asbury Fresh. So people know that you have a certain skill set to actually put something like that together. So it's not just too many people talk with no action, right? They'll go out there and they'll say, oh, like you see this at real estate meetups all the time. You go there and, oh, I'm looking for my first deal. Okay. Like the moment someone says that, and there's nothing wrong with a first deal. Everybody needs a first deal. The point is, you're going to be the person I talk to in 6 months that also is looking for the first deal. The problem is people, because you're focusing on that first deal instead of focusing on getting a skill set that can be used to acquire a first deal. And you're one of the best people, I think, that you get people to come to you. The Asbury project is a good example of it, the one that we're currently in talks with. Avon is another. They came to you to help them get through the process. And they do that because they already know of your skill sets. So it's too many people focus on the deal and, oh, I can't get the finance, I can't get the investors, instead of focusing on gaining your own skill set so that people can actually find you when you're ready to announce that you're looking for it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. It comes back to a little bit of authenticity because it's like you can sometimes you can smell desperation, you can smell like bullshit. At least I don't know. I've gotten pretty good at it. Most of the time when I guess two things is one of I build a lot of organic communities myself, not to be the center of it, but mainly because if you put me in a networking event or a networking group where I don't know anybody and it's not my event, I will literally stand in the corner and chew on ice cubes